Hi, my name is Polly. I'm 17 years old. Have you heard that hackneyed phrase, opposites attract? Have you ever been in a relationship where your partner is your complete opposite? Well, then watch this video to the end and find out how my complete opposite, the main school bitch, fell for me and how it ended for both of us. My story began a lot more banal. I just changed schools. Mine was closed just before the senior class. Oh, those dirty stories behind the door of the principal's office. My mother was obsessed with making my life perfect, so she chose another school, the best in our city, and got me there without even asking me what I wanted. However, I'm used to it. The school was really good. It was well funded, it had strong teachers, and electives were beyond praise, but I couldn't fit in. No, I'm a normal girl, that wasn't the problem. It was just that the whole class and some of the teachers were kept a tight hand over by one girl. I tried once or twice to fit in with her, but I was always pushed back to a separate empty table and I stopped trying. Why waste time? I was happy to be alone, despite my mother's concern. I like to watch people from the outside, but I don't like being the center of attention at all. But I quickly realized that the order here was like in prison. Did your school have its own caste system with losers at the bottom and school kings at the top? That's how it was here, only much tougher. I made it clear to that bitch Hope that I wasn't going to be a part of her minion hierarchy. I came to learn, not to dance to someone else's tune. Hope accepted my point of view, and she started messing up my life so inventively as if she hadn't grown up morally since elementary school. A couple of times my backpack was filled with slimes, which fell out in a greasy, slippery mess and soiled everything around. I'd also had my bathing suit punctured in the pool, and I'd regularly found cute "Hello from Hope" notes on my back with paper clips, but I was more amused than infuriated by the mischief. This, and for example, replacing my textbooks with creepy zombie comics or shoes nailed to the floor, was a creative reminder of my place in the pack. Didn't you know? Teenagers are always a pack. And Hope was their evil alpha. They forgave her everything. I had never met people who studied so badly. This hooligan could not even string two words together in class, but she swore masterfully. And she masterfully defended the honor of the school at all kinds of sports competitions and gymnastics and running and freestyle wrestling. A school with this kind of funding was obsessed with its reputation, so it protected Hope more than anyone else, forgiving her for anything, like making fun of other students. But the closer the final exams got, the more nervous my bully got. It was clear to me, to her, and to everyone in general that she could not pass the exams even with a minimum grade, especially under the cameras and with outside observers. I spent all my free time studying and often caught Hope looking at me thoughtfully. At the time, I thought she was just jealous of me and my grades. I was left alone, they stopped spoiling my things, and added all sorts of strange notes and jokes to the long, unreadable stares, like sweets or small postcards, which I began to find everywhere. If I were smarter, I would know that this wasn't a new kind of bullying. But that's what it looked like at the time. I was stupid, I know. And I was not up to it. I was working hard on my certificate. I didn't have time to watch Hope, who was literally going crazy with nerves. The teachers began to press her. Exams were inexorably approaching, and the main school problem could not be saved even by her athletic achievements and performances. I was surprised when we were called to the principal's office. Maybe it was because Hope had cursed the math teacher the day before, and when I stood up for the poor teacher, she yelled at me too. We spent a long time in the waiting room, and then everything was resolved quite obviously. Mr. Nix was personally interested in making sure that all the students of his school passed the exams, and the worst student too. to be paired with a real Satan. Let's be honest, I wasn't thrilled. I honestly tried to refuse, but Mr. Nix threatened me that a couple of controversial grades in my certificate might not be in my favor. But Hope was delighted, which I didn't expect her to be. The first day of class was stressful. The second day, I found a box of candy in my backpack. And the third day, the first thing Hope did was push me against the wall and ask if I would answer yes. Answer to what? And then I realized taunts and teasers, almost pulling pigtails, anonymous gifts, long looks, and now, working together, Hope fell in love. Like a schoolgirl. And now she was waiting for my answer. What would you do in my place? I mumbled that I needed some time. For the first time in her life, Hope showed a semblance of tact and promised not to bring up the subject again until I made my decision. And every day after school, I now had to stay in an empty classroom with Hope, enjoying her awful, bitchy personality. To my surprise, the classes themselves were fairly easy. Why then the terrible grades of my love-struck bully? The secret remained a secret for only a short time. When we moved from math and science to literature, I asked her to read Berryman's poem from a sheet of paper for joint analysis. Hope instantly lost all self-confidence and began to read. She read diligently, but half the words were confused in places and the letters were swallowed and choked. Do you understand what this is about? All her school years, this bully suffered from dyslexia, could not read properly, and pretended that studying was not for her. When I first mentioned it, Hope stiffened and reacted with hostility, but I gently made it clear to her that I would not bully a person because of their illness. She was reluctant to trust me. In general, in private, she was much softer, friendlier, and at times more pleasant. It turned out that she could not only be sarcastic in response, but also maintain a conversation on any topic. However, our secret, our unspoken confession not completed, hung between us, complicating communication. I couldn't make up my mind to give Hope a firm answer. No, I was trying to let Hope know that she might be wrong about how she felt about me, but I didn't think bullies in love were very understanding. But at some point, the situation became hopeless. I was attacked by real bullies. Not school kids with slime, but real punks. I don't know what would have happened to me, but Hope, my harmful guardian angel who was chasing her object of adoration, was nearby. What could a girl with a bad temper do against 3 adults? Oh, a lot of things. She screamed and swore at them, swinging her fists and throwing herself at one or the other. Of course, she was knocked down and beaten, and I was afraid that she would be beaten to death, but the fear was weaker than common sense, and I was able to dial 911. When they heard the siren, the idiots scattered, and Hope even tried to get up. The ambulance took her to the hospital, and I had to go home with nothing. But the next day, I went to her home, where Hope, with her injuries not looking too serious, was taken by her parents. It turned out that Hope, as typical for bullies in love, followed me secretly to my house every night. That's why she was there at the right time. She got into a fight for me. She almost got a concussion for me. While she was recovering, I was there all the time, and I swear we talked about everything in the world except, of course, exams. Hope managed to make it straight to the first exam. During this time, sitting by her bed, I finally understood my feelings for her. Sympathy, gratitude, regret. All this merged in my soul into a lump of painful, loving tenderness. We went to the first exam together, holding hands and sitting at neighboring tables. It was hard to focus on my assignments because I knew that right after this torture, I was going to have a date and a kiss. Did you like my story with Hope? It's pretty nice, just right for a Beauty and the Beast movie, isn't it? That's how suddenly opposites can complement you. Do you have such a story? Tell us in the comments. And be sure to put likes and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything. Goodbye!